Welcome to the 6th episode of Insight.
Mm-hmm.
We apologise for any random sounds such as pigeons or rain. We usually don't film in this hour of the day. You usually film late at night.
We stuffed up.
Which is
This is just a consequence
mistake.
of our mistake.
Yeah.
Speaking of mistakes, this is also the third time that we're filming this. We actually filmed the whole thing before. It was a bit of a train wreck though, so we thought we'd do it again.
It was a funny train wreck.
Yep, we acknowledged it and moved on. So, spoiler, our topic for today is mistakes.
Yeah. When everyone wins.
It's a celebration.
Yeah. Everyone cheers on, carries on with the day, and celebrates it with, I don't know, claps and cheers. But when something goes wrong.
When things go sideways.
Yep, as we say, everyone starts pointing fingers and play the blame game. It's
Your
fault.
Your fault.
So today's episode was a mistake, and whose fault was it?
Your fault. But yeah, I think it's acknowledging that everyone makes mistakes, especially us.
Yeah.
Like, often. But one thing we really try to hold ourselves accountable to is pointing out when we make the mistakes.
And taking responsibility.
Yeah, I think
For
pointing them out is like the first point. Even like if it's me pointing my own mistakes out or you pointing my mistakes out. The second is taking responsibility for them.
It's probably the hardest thing to do, owning up to it.
Yeah, like we think it's hard sometimes with me and you. But I guess that we have a responsibility to each other to do that, to keep ourselves afloat. But even more so, responsibility to like clients and friends.
Yeah, for sure.
We talked about this in an episode before on communication, and sometimes even if you're open the whole way through, you can get to the end and there's still a stuff up. It might be out of your control, but I think owning up to it and owning up to it being a failure,
it's a start to resolving
and
any
addressing
problems.
it. I think sometimes it's not only scary. There's a lot on the line. Like you might lose the sale. You might lose a customer.
Or your reputation.
There's so much at stake, I think. But it's really important to us that we do that. So that it creates an honest, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Like an honest and open image of yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
It makes it a bit more relatable in a very perfect world. Especially on social media.
Yeah.
Which is what we also want to talk about. Like how social media always portrays success as just from A to B. There's not too many failures.
Yeah.
It's always a perfect world. Everyone's successful. This person's successful. That person's successful. You rarely hear about people talking about the failures that got to their success.
I feel like it wasn't a while ago. Especially when we were in high school. I think looking up to creators, I never really saw
people openly discussing
where they stuffed up, or lost a client, or things that they did that they made the mistake that caused them the failure. It's usually pointing it out. We always talk about one thing big pet peeve is when people talk about client horror stories, and I don't really get it.
It's always the client's fault. When you mean they want the logo.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. I just don't get it. And I think that if you're constantly blaming other people, you forget that it's a relationship.
Yeah.
The way that we treat our clients, they're friends to us. It's a relationship that you've built over time that has trust as a foundation. And I don't think that you can build that kind of trust.
Blaming each other. You're not going to go very far.
And I also think that it makes it a lot easier and more comfortable for both parties if you can see that if I know that you're going to be open about your mistakes, it makes it easier for me to come forward and say I've made a mistake, which in the end makes it a better relationship, more honest and less beating around the bush.
Yeah. A bit passive aggressive here and there.
Yeah, that's the worst. No one wants that. Especially not us. I've got no one else to talk to.
Yeah. So when we make mistakes, we just have to own up to it and work it out.
Yeah.
And then that leads to, how do we go from making a mistake, owning up to it? What do we go from there? Which is
growing.
Growing from them. And I think growing from them is probably another important thing.
Yeah, you can point them out as much as you want.
Yeah.
Us knowing that we stuffed up today with the timing, knowing well in advance.
Yeah.
That this was going to be at a different time.
And we learn from it.
we're learning from it. We should have done something about it. And I can say that now. But if this happens again in the future, feel free to call us out for not following our own advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's important to like show this process of like acknowledging, taking responsibility, like doing something about it. I think it just paves the way for like us in the future.
Being a role model.
Yeah, like not even for other people yet. Like we know that it's really just mainly for us. But yeah, I know that when we were younger, looking up, it would have been really nice to see people.
Yep.
Stepping up.
Yeah. Even lately, you could still see a bit more of people sharing their stories, which is great.
And I'd love to see that. I'd love to see more of that and less climb. You know?
Random cut.
We went on a tangent. It was a little bit irrelevant, so we thought we'd wrap things up. But in conclusion, I think that sharing your mistakes gives more context to the wins. Makes them more meaningful.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to be talking about in our next episode.
Yeah, thriving together.
So that's the next one we'll be covering on Insight.
Yep.
Keep an eye out for another day. I'm still working on that.
There's no plans for it.
Yep.
No
But it'll be
concrete
out.
plans, but it'll be out soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Until next time, I guess. Bye.